Did you know in 2022, NaNoWriMo, or National Novel Writing Month, had 413,295 adults participate. That's in their programs. This is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that assists people in creating novels. Now, this organization has a website where you can track goals and participate in a community. Out of 413,000, 378,264 set writing goals and tracked using those tools same year. And out of all those people, 51,670 people actually won NaNoWriMo. I mean, that's amazing. They wrote an entire novel in a month. That was 51,670 people. That's 51,670 novels that NaNoWriMo put into the world from adults. They also have a youth program. What I do find a bit alarming about this is that that's only 13% of the people that signed up on the website and were tracking their goals actually won NaNoWriMo. So what 13% of people actually finishing with their novel? And that's by finishing a novel that the official goal is 50,000 words. That's a lot of words over the month of November, when you already have like Thanksgiving and family and travel and everything thrown into the mix. It's pretty insane. So what this tells me is that writing a novel is hard, even because NaNoWriMo gives you so many resources, tools, and community, and yet still such a small percentage actually like follow through with it. So with this being Preptober, I wanted to walk you through as like a new NaNoWriMo, someone who's taking this seriously, what I'm doing to get everything ready. Because I'm a mom, I'm trying to grow a business, and I am, responsible for household stuff, and I just want things to go smoothly, especially since we're going into the holidays. Like, what a time to write a novel. Very cool, in my opinion. I did the artist way back in 2020. It changed my life. I've said that so many times on this YouTube channel, because it really pushed me to be who it was that I thought I should be. We left the house, we're on a boat, so much has changed. One of the things that I have not done yet, that I discovered that I really wanted to do, or that like was pulled out of me with the artist way, because I didn't do it to become like a writer or a dancer, which I've loved all my life, or to make videos. I just did it because I felt stuck. But one of the things that I realized in it was that I really wanted to write a book. I mean, so cool. One of the exercises was that I tried to find my Artist Way book, thinking I might have brought it on the boat. I kept a journal where I would doodle and like write my insights, and she takes you through exercises, and I wrote the exercise question and then the answer down in this book, and I saved it, and it's in storage, so I can't show it to you. One of them was something along the lines of, I think there was multiple exercises like this where, what's one thing like the same idea, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Like, I think one of it was like explore, spend some time doing or thinking about or playing with a creative idea that you've had. That's not it at all what she said. She said it much more eloquently. There was something where I went online and looked up on YouTube, how do you write a novel? And Sarah Cannon popped up. So this was back in 2020. I started following her, and I watched like all of her videos about how to plot, how to outline, how to create good characters and worlds. And it was just so fun. And I was cleaning the house, getting it ready to sell, and watching all these videos, and I loved it. And so since then I followed her, and I love her videos, but I've never really taken it seriously to write a novel. Like, I've played around with story ideas, and it's fun to sit down and say, this is what I'm actually going to do. And I've had cards leading up to this where they're NaNoWriMo cards, which pulled from last year's kid curriculum with Brave the Page. And I was just kind of playing around with developing characters and outlines since then. But it's just been an index card that's reminded me every Thursday to work on NaNoWriMo. Let me see if I have the example here that I can show you. Today is Thursday. And I have to do it on Thursdays, because Thursdays is my day that like I get to indulge in a hobby, focus on creativity. Here's an example. So this is a card that I had in my index that went along with the 12-week goal. So I have two goals. One is to become a better YouTuber, which is why I'm making this video. And the second one is to write a novel or participate in NaNoWriMo, win NaNoWriMo. So this week, today I'm supposed to be building my story's world, making a map of the story setting, describing 4 important, but anyway. So I've been kind of working through these, and in doing so, I've gathered some of the supplies. Sarah Cannon created this like whole Preptober Planner book for you, and I'll include the link below where you can sign up for her newsletter. It's totally free. You just sign up for the newsletter, and then she sends it over to you, and you can print it out. I haven't printed mine out yet, but I think I might, because I've treating a vacation that's coming up as kind of like a little writer's retreat, where whenever I have some downtime, I'm going to work on Preptober, like really dive into it. So it might be kind of fun to print some of this out. But she walks you through like step by step, gathering your materials. First of all, my materials I'm working with, because I am a tactile paper type planner, I am working on outlining and plotting using index cards. I've watched a few videos and read some things on how people do this. It's pretty popular in the screenwriting world. I like that they're really transportable, so I can take them on my trip easily. I'm leaving my laptop because I don't want to even think about like anything with videos, or I'm just putting the index cards, and like they're legit just grocery store index cards in plastic bag and throwing them in my backpack. I don't know about anyone else, but this is part of the reason why I created my own index cards for my index card planner, was that I don't like standard index cards. They've always bothered me since, you know, like high school. This red line, and that we have to prescribe to these like blue lines, and I just don't like the color scheme. There's so much about it that bothers me. But I like writing on the blank side, and I have some blank note cards too that I was able to get. Those other ones I found at a thrift store for $1. So I've got my index cards. I know this is like really particular, but if you're writing a novel and you're focusing on writing and you have so much going on, I think the details are important. And I've been trying a few different pens, and this is a pen that I've used for years. I get it off of Amazon. I found it from an influencer online, I think another YouTube video, and I really like it because it is a 0.5. I don't know what you call that. I'll include the link below. They're not crazy expensive. They are just like wasteful because it's just plastic and you throw it in the garbage, but I like the way it writes. I like that it doesn't have anything else around it. And I like that it has a cap and not a clicky thing. So I've gathered my pens. I have pens ready. I have index cards ready. And then I also am using these travel notebooks. They are inexpensive. They're kind of like just throw in your backpack and it doesn't matter. I've used them for morning pages for a while. I've been using this to take down morning pages around. I don't do them that often. When I have book ideas, I'll just kind of sweep my mind with those ideas, and they go down in this little journal and then gets transferred to index cards later on. Again, I really like this one because it is just, like I said, inexpensive. It has the dot grid, small, and there's no like hardcover or anything like that. And then finally, you can tell me if I'm crazy or not, but this is one of the things that I have been, when I did it last year, when we wrote together, a legal pad. So I've read in last year in doing like Preptober with the kids, we participated by reading Brave the Page, and I also got masterclass, and we watched R.L. Stine talk about his writing process, and based off of that I got inspired and was reading about a number of different authors that I admire and their writing routines and how they write their novels, and I liked the idea of writing mine by hand. I don't know if I'll actually stick to that, honestly, because doing it last year, just like the limited amount of work that I did, it was a big commitment, a lot of handwriting. I don't know. I even transferred what I wrote over to the computer. That was part of the process that I thought was intriguing, the idea where you're writing a draft down. You can't hit delete. You're writing it down and you just get your words down on paper, and then after you're completed with your novel, you go in and type it out, and you can make changes at that point, remind yourself of things. I liked that process. I liked that idea. Again, I don't know if it's something that I'll do. I think it sounds romantic as far as like what I picture a writer doing. I have all of my tools. Sarah Cannon also talks about in her Preptober book just like setting up rewards for yourself. She does a lot of tracking. She has cute little tracking tools that you can use. I've said in past videos when I was setting up my 12-week plan, I'll link those videos below, or that I was just going to use like a daily card like I use for making my bed, which I just made a video about. I was just going to use a daily card, and the idea is I do it or I don't. Like I just have to do it. I don't like thinking there's a way out. And when I did my walking challenge also back in 2020, where I walked 20,000 steps a day for a month, and it was the first time I'd ever done something like that. I gamified it, where if I missed a day, I had to add whatever steps I missed onto the next day. And in doing so, I only missed like a couple days because it was so hard to catch up. It wasn't a reward, it was a little punishment, I guess. I guess everyone's motivated in different ways, but rewards just don't seem to be effective for me. Going in with that mindset, whatever I don't complete, I have to write the next day might be beneficial for me. Apart from the tools, she also really emphasizes in her videos, especially, the idea that you meal plan. Limiting distractions. It's just like with sidetracked home executives, the whole idea is that you're supposed to be focused on what the priority is. So by having all of your meals planned, and even like you're having a baby, you get all of them like prepped and ready to go, freezer meals, that type of thing. And that way you can add, because writing that much is going to take time. So that way you're not sacrificing other areas of your life as you're going. Especially on something, I still feel a little guilty for doing this, because it feels trivial. It's something that I'm just interested in. It sounds, it's something fun. But it's just like as if, my husband, he goes paddleboarding, for example. He's paddleboarding right now at his lunch hour. I don't ever think of that as trivial. It's something he needs to do for his health and to feel good. It makes him happy. And in being creative and writing things, for me, it does the same thing for me. Like, maybe it's not physically something that's demanding, but it's definitely mentally demanding. And looking at it as something that's not trivial, it's going to be very helpful for myself. Like I said, if you're at all interested in writing a novel, you should follow. And if you're watching this video, you might already follow Sarah Cannon, and you'll have to tell me what you've done so far that she's recommended. Because there's some things that I've done and other things I haven't, like the tracking system I probably won't do. But she also talks about prepping your space and creating a good vibe. In her videos, her office is it's just like, it feels like her. It looks like the way she speaks and her excitement for life is reflected in her surroundings. And I do like that idea. I am on a small boat that I can't really necessarily have a candle burning or anything like that, but I do plan on doing the majority of my writing very early in the morning, and it's going to be cold, and it's going to be dark. So I should figure out something that will make me inspired or want to get up early in the morning to write, other than just write. Maybe some like really cozy socks or slippers or something like that. And finally, for my Preptober, what I need to do that she also recommends, and I think this is awesome for any goal, is looking at, I have this for like my holidays that I do at the beginning or at the end of every month to go into the next month. I'll have a new video up for November soon. I did one for October where you review what your plans are for the month, and that will help you as far as how you attack your goals. Or like, for example, if your goal is to go to the gym, well, maybe you can't go to the gym that day because there's an activity, so you have to change the time. So knowing everything well in advance is just really helpful. She has you do that where you're filling out a calendar and you can say ahead of time. So you're setting yourself up for success, where you say, oh, I'm traveling that day. I can't write in the morning. Therefore, I have to change maybe my goal for that day, write more. So just being aware of things ahead of time. I like anything where you're setting yourself up for success, where you are making sure that your goal is realistic, that it's something that you can actually attain based off of all the other areas in your life. One of the things that I do think is really important for myself too, and if you're like me and you're going into some kind of big creative project and it's taking up extra amounts of your time where you would be doing like an artist date, and now you're writing, I do want to still participate in all of those artist way exercises, because I think it will be more important than ever to do things like an artist date. Because as I'm writing down my ideas for stories and scenes for the novel, so much of what I'm writing has come from personal experience, especially on artist dates or like situations where I find myself in unfamiliar environments or around people I don't really talk to that often. It just gives you this whole, when we're talking about world building, it gives you this whole idea of other types of people you haven't been around that you can incorporate into your creativity. So whether it's writing or it's creating music or making a painting, the whole process of creating something out of nothing is so fun. That's what I'm working on. I'll let you know how my writing retreat goes next week. And if you're doing Nanowrimo, this isn't a writing channel. The reason why I'm speaking or talking specifically about Preptober and Nanowrimo is because it's part of my 12-week goal, which is what I do talk about, which is the index card planning system, or using index cards in place of a planner. So subscribe if that's something you're interested in. But if you are doing Nanowrimo, let me know in the comments. I'd love to see what you're doing to prep for the month ahead.